Are you listening? Damn.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Damian Hill. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight we have Josh Clark, who's getting ready to face Edwin Jimenez at LFA 77, going down September 27th at Mystic Lake Casino. Trash Talk is brought to you again by Valhalla Combat Sports, Ink's Rings Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota. Uh, on Deck Promotions, and the Fighters. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Can't complain.
I'm doing well. I appreciate you sitting down with us here just about a week out from the fight. Been following your camp here. You've been staying active. How's this camp been going? This is a fight you've known about for a couple months now. How did you incorporate your last fight rolling into this one with that kickboxing match you had back in August?
Yeah, this last camp, couple months have been good. I mean, I'm always training, so I'm always ready, But this last kickboxing fight, I think it was a good test of me because I fought him before, and it was an all stand-up fight, and just kind of proves that just kind of getting prepared for a stand-up battle, and then because I grapple and stuff too, so I think that was good to have that kickboxing match as another there's another additional training, or I guess you can say, or just to get more getting ready and just staying sharp, and just kind of focusing on my hands more too,
Yeah, from the outside perspective, most people would say that you're a wrestler, jiu-jitsu fighter,
Yeah.
But you do have an amateur boxing career. You do have those hands, and I think taking this kickboxing match may have proved a little bit to everybody that you are willing to throw hands if need be, but why go there if you can put a guy on their back and beat him up there and not take any damage, Granted, I could probably beat you on the feet too, but let's go with the higher percentage, if it's 60% I beat you on the feet, but it's 80% I beat you on the ground, why not go to the ground, But
exactly.
your opponent is known a little bit for his wrestling ability as well. If this fight doesn't go to the ground, because usually that's the case when two wrestlers end up fighting each other, how do you see it playing out on the feet? What do you expect from him? What do you expect to show the people in the MMA side of things?
I think, if it doesn't go to the ground, let's say our both, because he has a wrestling background, I have a wrestling background, so if, it doesn't get to the ground, it's an all stand-up fight, I'll be prepared for it. I went 3 rounds last kickboxing match, and then, I feel good in my hands, and, I'm ready for wherever the fight goes, and if it goes an all-out, 3-round war on the feet, and it stays that way, then I'll be comfortable there. I mean, I've seen a fight, he has some, decent hands, he has some boxing ability, and I think we match up pretty well, kind of style-wise in a way, kind of similar. And right now, I think it should be a good fight.
Yeah, when two guys have similar styles and they start to clash, it's like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Who's better at what? Who's gonna show off a little bit more? Who's better at mixing it up? It's like when how I felt when Donald Cerrone and Nate Diaz, when that fight was announced. It's like, wow, they kind of similar a little bit, but also completely different fighters, and it's just interesting to see the style and the matchup, So how do you feel you guys match up? I mean, granted that you guys are similar, what are the differences that you see in the game that you possess versus what he possesses?
I think, I have, my stand-up is, a little more, striking more punches, I guess. And then, but I think what will probably stand apart maybe is we'll see how the jits game, compares if we get to the ground. We both are, wrestlers, but we'll see what the level of jits, the jitsu defense, offense, the attacks on top, and how, I think that will set it apart because I think I've had some, experience in jiu-jitsu, and then, I do throw from this kickboxing match, I've been comfortable throwing more of my kicks too.
Yeah.
So, that could be a difference too in the fight of kicking ability, So
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite aspects of your game that you do bring to the table, Josh, is your willingness to test yourself against the highest competition, test yourself against, like Damian said, a guy who you've known for your wrestling ground game. He's known for his wrestling ground game. You want to see who's better. You want to test yourself. This will be your 4th fight in a row against top 10 opponent. What do you think the level of competition you faced What do you think that's going to help you bring to the cage on September 27? Because, I mean, we've seen Edwin's fight. He's looked dominant. But, I mean, it's safe to say that as far as competition goes, I feel like you faced the tougher competition thus far in your career.
Yeah, I think just the things I've been through, you know, like I handle pressure pretty well. I don't let things get. I don't get a lot of things get to me, and just, you know, I've been at those like higher level matches where like it's, you know, like, you know, at state or at sections or team sections and wrestling, and then, you know, I've been able to pull through, or just, you know, or for boxing, there's like high level boxing matches, and then just facing like guys like, you know, like Jeremiah Harper, and like, you know, twice in MMA and kickboxing, and then Ricky Field, who's like on a 2 or 3 fight win streak, and then, you know, I kind of like the challenge. It makes me work harder, and then just, you know, being active and just how I train, I think it'll just kind of, it'll just, I don't know, I feel good about the fight. You know, we'll see. You know, anything can happen in a fight, but I feel pretty confident in how it's gonna go. And then, you know, I think I'll, you know, since I've had those tougher competitions, you know, I think that'll pay off. I've had that experience. And then,
Yeah.
But I'm not going to underestimate my opponent. You know, I know what he has to bring to the table. I'll be ready for it.
Yeah. No, you speak about the level of competition that you faced, and you have faced tough competition in high school wrestling and at the collegiate level. Granted, you just started going, classes just started again. Do you plan on taking a break during the wrestling season again? And because, I mean, you've always stayed active. Even last year when you stopped for the wrestling season, you continued to come to the gym and train. I seen you were there all the time, you know, and then at the wrestling gym,
Yeah.
you know, at your wrestling practices, you know. It's like you're always transitioning, and then coming right after the wrestling season, taking a fight again. Do you plan on doing it the same way after this fight? Probably this be your last one until after the wrestling season?
Yeah, like I think, you know, this will be, you know, we'll see what happens, but I'm probably, after this next fight, I'll probably, you know, I'm still training all the time. I'm still active all the time, you know, but after this MMA fight, I'll probably, you know, focus back on a little more wrestling, but I'm always still going to be training my hands, still training my jiu-jitsu, just going to be competing in wrestling, you know, and then just keep, you know, as long as I'll have my wrestling practices, and then I'm going to be ingrained in that wrestling, but I'm still going to come to the gym, work my hands to keep them sharp, you know, work my jiu-jitsu, work my kickboxing to make sure I keep getting better at those things. But, you know, I'll be more emphasized on the wrestling season for sure. And then once the wrestling season is done, you know, we'll see what happens if I get another fight booked up, or, you know, I go in a different type of competition. Even though I've had different competitions, you know, whether it's been boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, I'm always staying active, always competing. So whatever opportunities out or comes up, you know, I'll see what I have to do and talk to my team, my coaches, and, you know, we'll see how it goes. But
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you can never, you know, you always expect is, you know, you're always working on things. I mean, as long as I've known you, true student of the game, you love learning things. So seeing all of that here, Damian mentioned you're just getting back to school. What's it been like this last month or two, juggling all those schedules, getting the work in for you? I mean, who do you want to thank that's been there for you these last couple of weeks, putting in this final work at camp?
yeah, I mean, just, you know, it was last month of, you know, school, month and a half, however long it's been. Like, you know, at first it was a little bit, you know, I had to like kind of just work through my schedule. All right, this is my time for classes, you know, and then just kind of, you know, I kind of like staying busy. I like having that schedule, like that routine, you know. And but I also switch it up. So sometimes I wake up early, get a workout in, or I go to the gym, and I'm still getting my classes done, still getting my workouts in, still putting in work for this camp. And then, you guys want to thank my team, Valhalla Combat Sports, for just, you know, giving me the rounds whenever I come in. Just like, you know, whenever I come in, if it's early or later, whenever it is, like they're always putting rounds with me, you know, like my coaches, teammates. And then, you know, I've also been I've been coaching and training over at Title Boxing now. So like I've been able to put rounds in over there. I've been able to help coach, which also helps my game, you know, helping teach people, also helps me learn. And then just like getting extra work in, like I'm always busy. So
Yeah, no, that's great.
Some of those videos you posted, you're definitely getting some work in with that coaching and that aspect. What do you feel like that aspect's done for you? Because, I mean, you always say that you learn more by explaining it. I've known you for a while. I feel like your boxing is, Damian mentioned it earlier, some of the most underrated part of your game thus far in your career. What has it been like being able to help others learn it and pick it up? And you mentioned get extra work in at the same time.
Yeah, it's been it's been good for me. It's like, I mean, sometimes I help out at Valhalla and show stuff, but like I've been, this is more of like, it's, I don't know, it's like a job, but it's like something that I already do, and I don't really consider it a job. I go in and like I help, I get to meet people, I get to show stuff, and just by, like by showing it, I get to explain why the move works or why you have to do it this way, and it helps me understand better why I do things instead of just doing it. Because I've always, before when I was younger, I would be like, all right, this is the way it has to be. This is why. This is practical. This is what everyone does. That's why it works. But now by showing it, I get to explain why, and I get to understand why it works that way instead of something else. Like I get to see the practicality of the move. And then just by, and then I'm also, when I'm coaching, it's a little bit more fitness training based. And then it's like, I'm walking around, like speaking in a mic, but I'm also challenging people on the bag, hitting the bag with them, making sure, like, leading by example, also like putting in the work with them. If I'm working, they're working. Yeah, and also get my workout in too. So it's like, I'm getting kind of paid to work out in a way,
Yeah. That's the dream. That's the fighter's dream, But before we wrap it up, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, or any body that's outside the gym that you'd like to thank or give a special shout out to?
Yeah, like just thank you guys for the interview. I want to thank Ink Strings Tattoo, the sponsor our gym, sponsor the fighters, and sponsor me this last, like every MMA fight I've had, kickboxing match. And then I want to thank, everyone at Valhalla, my coaches, my training partners, everyone like that's been helping me out, like Tino Grace Wrestling, St. John's Wrestling, and then just everyone up there. And then I want to thank Title Boxing. Just I've been working there for a month and just been helping me out, working through my schedule and helping me get workouts in and everything like that. Just want to thank, everyone that's been there, my family, friends, all of them. It's all been good support.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Josh. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, always a fan. Look forward to seeing your fight here. Best of luck finishing up this last week. Best of luck with the weight cut. And I look forward to seeing your performance, sir.
Thanks. Thank you.
Damn.